The fact that our engagement is so high, our customers start answering each other's questions.
The fact that you guys have one that's organically getting built, that's probably going to be a huge key to the success. Welcome back to SUBTA Studios. Chris George here, your SUBTA chairman. I'm super excited today. I've got Billy with us with Gorgias and Courtney from my TeaDrops. Courtney, if you could, real quickly, just give an introduction of yourself and your title within the company, and tell us a little bit more about my TeaDrops.
Yeah, so I handle all of our customer service at TeaDrops currently. We've been in business for about 5 years. It started in Los Gatos. Our founder, Sashi Chandran, is Chinese and Sri Lankan, and tea's kind of really entrenched in her life. So it was, how do I get rid of this tea bag when I'm in a meeting or on the go, or it's kind of creates a mess. So it started with one flavor, which was our chai spice. And then now we've expanded to probably close to 20 in the last 5 years now. So it's been really exciting. I joined the team in 2016, and I've basically been in every aspect of the business, from learning to cook in Sashi's home kitchen to make the tea drops, to transitioning to the new warehouses and onboarding fulfillment centers, to now we're a team of 7 full-time employees, and now we're based out of Los Angeles. So it's really exciting.
So the company's only been around 5 years. You've been there basically 4. So you've seen the startup, like, from start to finish. And by the way, I love the hustle neon light in the back.
Thanks.
Love it. You know, I believe in being able to hustle and build your your businesses by work, right? Working hard in that. And so you've seen that business grow, right? You've been there from the beginning. That's amazing. And you had customer service, and we know how important customer service is. And so tell me a little bit about, it's a retail brand. Did it start online? Give me a little backstory. And also, too, just for those listening, is it monthly exclusive tea that's delivered? Is there something unique about the product? Just give us a quick insight there.
Yeah, so TeaDrops are organic dissolvable teas. So they come in fun shapes. You drop it in hot water, stir, and it's ready to drink. They're like lightly sweetened, so it's all-encompassing experience, and it just kind of takes the fuss out of a tea bag.
Yeah.
Well, also we're trying to create connections through our tea. So you can order online as a one-off, but then this year our focus has been this huge subscription shift, where we wanted to kind of create what is the best and like the greatest representation of our brand. How do we put that in a box and then, get people to buy in?
It's super smart because, one, I'm, and this, I'm a huge believer in subscriptions, right? We're trying to build the largest community in subscription-based businesses, and I think every brand should be building a subscription model. You've got a depleting product, right? Meaning, like, they're going to use up the tea and they're going to need more of it. So it's pure genius. And that's so cool. I never knew that the product, you could put it in the tea in the hot water and it's ready to rock and roll. And that's pretty remarkable. I never heard anything like that. And so, I'm sorry, did we say that it started online or did it start retail?
Oh, sorry. So it did start online.
Okay.
We were just filling orders out of Sashi's house, because in California there's a cottage kitchen license. So if you sell under a certain amount, you can
do it out of the
get
house.
it home.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were filling out of her garage, and then I think she went to a trade show in San Francisco and got our first wholesale account, and that was in 2016.
It's amazing.
And from there, probably until this year, it was like 60-40 online to wholesale.
And so now with what's happened with COVID, right? The shift has changed from retail purchasing. I'm assuming you're probably in grocery stores. Are you in grocery stores for the most part? Or where would you be in a retail setting?
We're in Cost Plus World Market as well as Whole Foods in the Midwest.
Okay, cool.
We're working to break into larger grocery, but it's
those are still pretty big, and they're still open during COVID, right? Especially Whole Foods. So, but did you see an uptick on the online sales when this happened with the pandemic?
Definitely.
Yeah.
We all decided to start working from home, and as a group, we're going to work remotely through the end of the year. when that happened, we kind of prepared for budget cuts, things like that. And luckily for us, being a food product, it turned to be the opposite, where
Yeah.
we saw a huge
Uptick.
uptick in online sales from people being at home. Specifically, we have a Thai iced tea kit. And as it was getting into the warmer times, that's like a luxury that you couldn't go to the store and get anymore. So that was like a huge hot item for us that was just flying, was our Thai tea, just to make
Love
that
it.
at home, like with the boba, like the
Yeah.
traditional Thai tea. So
It's
it was
amazing.
really
So,
important.
and a big part of this video podcast and those listening, what's so important is customer service, customer experience. And I know that you got a lot of experience in that. And I also know that you work with Gorgias to sort of manage that platform. Before me and you start jamming out on some customer service stuff, Billy, can you just tell us a little bit more about Gorgias for those that aren't aware? Tell us how you're working with my TeaDrops on their customer service, the different platforms you're helping manage for them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so Gorgias, in a nutshell, it's a help desk specific for e-commerce merchants. So essentially what that means is that all of the communication channels that a direct-to-consumer brand is speaking with customers, we bring into one place. So that would be like your traditional channels like email and live chat, but then also your marketing channels like your comments. So like comment moderation, so Facebook and Instagram ads, organic comments. SMS is like something that a lot of e-commerce brands in the US are getting into. So like all of those replies, phone, essentially anywhere you're talking with a customer, we bring that into one place. And then because we're so e-commerce focused, we basically connect with the platform that they're selling on. So like think Shopify, Magento, BigCommerce, things like that. And we map all of that data to the customers in the help desk so that when a brand like my TeaDrops is talking with them, they have all of that information available. We have machine learning to kind of automate a lot of common questions or, help streamline a lot of the different workflows that they're using with tags and views and things like that. And then with my TeaDrops, so I'm not sure exactly how long they've been a Gorgias customer. It's been a little while though. And I met Courtney, multiple times in LA over the past like year at a few different e-commerce events. And we just hit it off. She's like super high energy. And I learned a lot about the platform from Courtney because she was using it pretty heavily like back then. So yeah, that's how I connected with Courtney. And I think Courtney's been with Gorgias for like a year or two, over a year, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or at least a year.
Yeah, that's good.
I think this is their second holiday season.
Okay, yeah, so like coming on 2 years.
So it's really like a help desk on, for all intents and purposes, steroids, right? Like so many variables and ways that you're able to gather that data and put it together. And you touched on a point there that I really like, and I don't think enough brands do this. And Courtney, I think we should chat about it. Is commenting on posts that are done on social media, right? So I'm a firm believer that if somebody's posts something about your brand or makes a comment, that it's so important to get and respond to that comment fast. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts on that and what you guys do at my TeaDrops.
So here's something kind of funny, just interject. It's actually TeaDrops, but we don't have the TeaDrops handle because someone else has it currently. So it's always this is it my TeaDrop or is it TeaDrop? But technically we're TeaDrops. So
I'll try to say TeaDrops from now on. Every time I say mine, no worries. Oh, you guys a drink or something.
But so for us, social is huge. We have a really high engaged community of people who really care about the brand, all of our social initiatives, the fact that we're women-led and owned and founded. So it's huge for us and our founder to make sure that every single person gets a response, that we want to make those personal connections with everyone. We even actually created a Facebook group that's a smaller subset of our customers that are highly engaged. I think they are starting a book club together. And the fact that our engagement is so high, our customers start answering each other's questions. So it's been really amazing to see like this shift of being able to step back a little.
That's probably going to be a huge key to the success, right? Like I'm a huge believer in building amazing communities, and the fact that you guys have one that's organically getting built and these customers are sort of coming to bat for you. And then you can use those customers in that community to help make decisions on future products, right? Future flavors maybe, or like, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, actually, we took a poll for holiday flavors and offered up like 10 different options. And then we actually are moving forward with 2 of them
Love it.
for this holiday season. So
That's awesome.
later this year, we're going to just do a big push and just remind people like, you picked this, and we're super excited to launch it. So I think we're really fortunate to be able to do that and to have those connections. And even some of our customer, or most of our top customers, have my personal email address. Some even have my cell phone number,
Yeah.
honestly. And we just try to create those one-on-one connections because they're really who keeps us in business and who helps us be successful. So whatever we can do to support them is really, at the end of the day, it makes our job in customer service so much easier because we're just trying to make them happy.
Tell me a little bit about, so Gorgias is able to gather all this data for you from every platform. How are you using that? Because I think there's too many brands that are not using the data, right? So how do you guys use the data and use it to your best advantage if you have so far? I know it's been a couple of years with Gorgias, or coming up on 2 years, but tell me a little bit about how you use that to make better decisions in the future, or put policies in place in regards to response times, things like that.
Yeah, so I feel like when I think of Gorgias, I kind of correlate it with efficiency. So it helps us to answer our customers quicker because we create product tags and tags for our tickets, so we can kind of start to see rising issues. There's also a feature that's really cool, and I'm sure Billy could speak on it a little more, that there's like this technology that reads your tickets for you and then tries to determine the intention and then assigns a tag based on that intention of the ticket. So without even our agents or myself having to do anything, these tags are automatically happening so that we can look at that data and say, okay, it looks like we have a lot of customers that are talking to us about our sediment on our website because it's loose leaf tea and it's in the bottom of your cup. How do we market around that? So now we have a huge marketing campaign around the tea fiber, what it is, and we've seen a significant decrease in the amount of those tickets and questions. Yeah. So it's like, while we're ticketing it and tagging the tickets, Gorgias is also working behind the scenes, helping us to become more efficient. When until this year, we were just, I was managing our customer service solely. So it's been a great help to have all this technology at my fingertips to create like efficiency, as where we're answering tickets in less than 2 hours around the clock.
That's amazing. And I kind of wanted to just jump in on like, I mean, that's really cool that you're using the, you know, the intents, but you nailed that feature on the top. It's essentially machine learning to tell you like what your customers are saying before your agent looks at them. But with response time, you had mentioned like less than 2 hours, and that's really impressive. And I think like first off, if we're talking like times now during COVID, like the order volume across brands that we work with, like you've seen, have seen like it's over 80% increase in order volume since the start of COVID. So like you remember the first 2 weeks of March, there was like a 30% dip. Well, now it's like 80% up. So basically like almost at Black Friday, Cyber Monday numbers of last year. And then the second component with response time is that roughly what we see is that if you're responding to customers very fast, so dependent on channel, but if we look at live chat where they're expecting immediate responses, if it's like less than 10 minutes, the conversion rate on those chats, so basically someone who hasn't purchased and then they purchase within a week after, is roughly 28%. And that's across the cohort that we're looking at. So basically, like Courtney said, if you have the ability to be efficient and answer customers fast, like it's not just, you know, where's my order or return policies, like there's opportunities to convert them at a higher rate than if they just hit your website on their own.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right? Because what you're trying to do essentially is, this is, you know, on a retail side of things, the customer walks in and you have the ability to sell them a product, right? We're trying to manage 100 times more people hitting your website, and you can't have that one-on-one human interaction, but you're able to do it with this chat, right, that you're offering, and being able to respond and have the bots to help sort of convert the sale. So to me, it makes sense, because if I walked into a retail store and I wanted help and nobody came to me for an hour, I would probably be mad and leave and not purchase. So I think it makes a lot of sense that you're saying that you're seeing a huge increase when response times are low. Across platforms, does it differ? Like, do they expect faster responses when it comes from Facebook Messenger versus a chat on the site versus an email response? Are you seeing anything in regards to that?
Yeah, I think the expectations are just a lot higher because for a while everyone was at home. So they're just expecting almost immediate response, which we worked on as well, trying to like set better expectations on our website. So it's clear if you send a chat outside of business hours, you get this big notification.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you the next business day after 8 a.m., things like that. But definitely for social, it's always kind of people thinking or expecting almost an immediate response. Which
if it's during normal business hours, how fast are you getting back to them?
Between in normal business hours, like 45 minutes max.
Okay.
For email,
that's across email, chat, and Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, so chat we have 5 minutes within business hours.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then email, but overall it's about 45.
That's
on
great.
Average.
Yeah, I think, for those watching, I mean, this is so critical for your business. I remember Sunday nights at 10 o'clock, an email came in. I was responding to it when we were starting some of our brands. Like, you just have to do that, and that's why you guys were so good at building a community and the consumers trust you, right? That's really good. Tell me about ways that you're able to leverage the customer service, or how has the customer service affected the growth of the company, in your opinion? Are there metrics around that? Have you seen that now that you've offered, because some companies just have email, right? So you got chat, you got Facebook Messenger, and Billy, maybe you got some data on this too. How have you seen that affect conversion or customer experience?
We kind of measure our overall customer satisfaction, and something that just rises for us is that even if customers have a bad experience, say they leave a review that their order was late, they're still commenting and rating us higher because the customer experience was great.
Yeah.
Like, well, I was upset because I didn't get this on time, but then they fixed it, and Courtney or Gladys or Sashi was amazing, and I would recommend this again. So it's like, it just kind of helps them to have a better experience overall.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you made good points there, just to kind of add to that. And yeah, I mean, like basically the data shows this isn't just gorgeous data, but like, especially now more than ever, like people they're not necessarily loyal unless they really love the brand experience. And a huge component of that is your customer, is the experience they have when they're talking with your brand. So like, I think the stat out there is like 80% of people will leave if they have a bad customer experience, and they'll go to a competitor. And then obviously you're competing with like Amazon, for example, and yourself, right? Like, you guys are in Whole Foods. So like, you can go on Amazon Fresh and order, I'm sure you might be able to order TeaDrops from Whole Foods online. So really, like, I think a lot of people think of like marketing as like the hot and sexy, way to grow your brand. And then they kind of like, bring customer support underneath everything and allocate budget at the very end. But like, again, if you're bringing a lot of traffic to your website and they're having bad experience, like, they're not going to come back. So, there's a huge like LTV, uptick with like a good response time, like what TeaDrops is doing.
How are you, Courtney, gearing up for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? And Billy, what are your recommendations on the customer service side, on the technology side? Because this will be the craziest e-commerce experience for the holidays this year. There'll probably be more online sales than ever. How are you guys gearing up for that? So
I think like what we are doing with brands, our success team, is we're trying to make sure that they have, first off, they have the right technology stack. So not just Gorgias and not just Shopify, but like all of the technologies that they're using in one place. So when people are reaching out, they have all of as much data as possible. And then the other one is opening up as many channels as you can handle. So like you said, there's going to be huge influx in sales online. So like just having those avenues to be able to talk with customers. So like maybe you get into, instead of just doing email and Facebook ads and Instagram ads, you start opening up SMS as a channel for the holidays. Cause I think that's going to be a really successful channel. How are you gearing out for it, Courtney?
So we start gearing up like now
Yeah.
or end of July. We've hired one new person. We're bringing on another at least. So we'll have two more full-time employees to handle all the influx in tickets. Our social team currently handles social engagements unless there's like a customer experience issue. So they're handing that back to us for holiday as things kind of get a little crazier. So we're just gearing up for that. For us, like you said, like we keep mentioning, customer experience is huge. So we really try to hire early so that we can be moderating these new hires, making sure that they get the brand voice and, just kind of understand all of our protocols because as it gets crazy for holiday, we make a large portion of our revenue in Q4 that it's just at this point where we can't stop. We just got to keep
Yeah.
going forward and keep forging through. And then we also kind of set up a whole Black Friday to Cyber Monday schedule where someone is available on phone and email around the clock.
Oh, it's super important. Well, that's a really good tip. I think that's super, and all brands should be thinking about that, having a schedule in place that you guys are covering all bases during this time.
Yeah, we try to reserve the time for our families and not really publicize like we're here, but we're there to just answer any questions.
Yeah.
Every sale is important, right?
I love it. Well, this is some really good stuff. Courtney, I'd like you to give 3 tips for new brands on how they should be, like 3 quick tips about customer service that new brands that are starting, or even those that have been around that you think is really important to a business.
I think automating as much of your work as possible is huge just to create more efficiencies. Like with Gorgias, I went through and I have a macro for almost every single frequently asked question.
Awesome.
So that I don't have to keep retyping those responses. Yep. 2, like setting clear expectations. Smart. If in our marketing meeting, something like with our subscription boxes, they're going to maybe ship a little late. If I know that 4 days in advance, I need to let the customers know ahead of time, just get in front of the game. And then 3, like bring your personality to it. Yeah. Like I always bring a part of me in every interaction with everyone because it creates more of a personal connection rather than just a cut and paste message. And it's like, remembering who those customers are and just, creating those personal ties because really that's the most important thing. And then it just makes my job more fun.
Yeah. So smart. Courtney, those are great tips. This is amazing. Billy, before we end here, is there anything you want to say, anything more about Gorgias? You want to let the customers know any product features or anything?
Essentially anybody listening, if you're gearing up for Black Friday, and I think hopefully like people started gearing up for Black Friday like 3 or 4 months ago. Yeah. And you're getting an influx of customer support. You're like getting a taste because of COVID right now of what that could look like overnight. And you need these automations that Courtney are talking about to really streamline, like maybe you have a lean team and you need to be efficient. It doesn't hurt to check out Gorgias. Like there's a 7-day free trial. So like you can definitely check it out.
I mean, look, I can say it for Billy. I know so many brands that are on the Gorgias platform, and I know that they've helped a lot of brands really grow and help with their customer service and managing all that. So thank you to your support to SUBTA, Billy. Billy, if you want, just go ahead and give a quick your email out. So if anybody needs to reach you.
Yeah, so it's super easy, man. It's just Billy, Billy, at gorgias.com.
Courtney, thank you again for being on. I look forward to seeing you at future SubSummits and SUBTA events and getting you super involved in the SUBTA community. So again, thank you guys both. And if you need anything at all, please reach out to me.